Hello, everybody. Hello. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me today. I will be talking. My name is Marianne Kim, if you don't know me. And today I wanted to talk to you about and share and ask you a question, mostly um, that that will make you kind of a little food for thought and something that makes you think a little bit more about the future, a bit more long term. But it's a question that I like to ask a lot of people that I come across in what I do. And as a financial professional, it is important to ask yourself this question. And so, what is your number? And what I mean by that is, have you ever thought, or if not, then it'd be a good time to do that. Is, do you know how much money? What's the number that you need? How much money do you need to retire? What is that number? Um, and so, you know, have a little think about that. I mean, that's something that when I was personally asked that question, I was just like, yeah, I no idea. And so, of course, that number will vary depending on where you live in the world, because this video um, is going to go all over. I'm sure people from all over the world might come across. So, depending on where it is that you live, that number will be very different for a lot of different people. And also because, depending on people's lifestyles and, you know, way of life and lifestyles, that will very much vary as well. And who knows in the future as well, right? With everything that's going on, that's something to consider. That when you retire, whatever that number is, also like when it is that you'd like to retire, that also will be different for everybody, and it might be a longer period of time, depending if you're in your 20s or 30s now, or how much time do you really have really left to think about that kind of thing. And this is something that I want to share. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick and give you a little visual here that we can work with. Right, so what is your number? All right, well, that is something I highly recommend for you to kind of think about. Just take a couple minutes and just off the top of your head, usually I ask the person in front of me, like, give me a number, any number. What kind of number would you say? Would you guess? Would you say you would need? How much would you need? So there. So yeah, how much would you need? So some people, they throw out 1 million, right? Some 3 million. Some might be more like 500,000. 100,000. Some people really have no idea. Most people have no idea. Most people have never thought about it and have no idea. I have no idea what number it is, right? So just to give you a bit of perspective, so I live and work in the US. I'm currently living in Los Angeles. So of course, in California, life is like quality of life, and life is expensive here, more expensive than other parts of the US. And so going by the average US household is about 50,000 a year. So that's an annual income. The annual income is about 50,000, and that's the average in the US, right? So California, of course, is going to be more. It's definitely much more. But let's say, just to give you an example, just to give you a better idea, right? So that helps you kind of, definitely give me a better idea of, let's say you want to retire, a retirement income of 10,000 per month. That seems, you'd be quite comfortable, I'd say, with 10,000. But again, it varies. Some people need less. Some people want less. Some people would need more, or less. But let's say that you want to retire at the age of 65. Right now, the average age of retirement in the US is 67, so it's a little bit earlier, but that will vary again on the person. Maybe you want to retire earlier than that. But the chances are that by the time you retire, we are working longer, we are living longer, so you might be retiring a little later than that. But let's say you want to retire age 65 and you expect to live to 95, and that seems like a lot. You think, wow, 95, wow, that's like a long time, 30 years. But really, with technology and advancement in the world, we're still living longer, right? Which every few years you're added. There's a few years added to life expectancy. So that's not unusual to think that you might be living till 95 or even more, even longer. So something to think about. So let's say that 30 years you have to live in retirement, right? So let's say 10,000 a month, right? So for 30 years in retirement, that's going to times 12, that's 360 months. Now, for 30 years, living with $10,000 a month, you would need $3.6 million, right? That's a lot, right? It's $3.6 million. And, let's say you wait, people don't even think about that. And they wait until, I don't know, they wait until like a few years before they retire and they start thinking about it and they go, oh, well, I'm going to need $3.6 million, really? So let's just say 3.6 is, maybe $10,000 is a lot, right? Maybe $10,000 is like, well, I really don't need $10,000 a month to live in retirement. Let's say half. So you only need half of that. Let's say you only need 5,000 a month, right? Again, for 30 years, you still need $1.8 million, right? And so this is just something to give you a little bit more like food for thought and a little bit more of an idea of like thinking a bit more ahead, because I was very much in that position of where I did not think about that at all. Like I didn't think about, oh yeah, how much money do I need for retirement? How much money would I need if I wanted to retire, at this age? And just giving you an idea of that, just something to think about. And really, with the people that I come across, it's really like it doesn't matter if I talk to someone that's in their 30s, 40s, 50s. They all pretty much say, retirement is like so far away. I haven't really thought about that, right? And so, that's something that I understand. It's something that's usually quite a few years away, and it's something that it's definitely not something that people are thinking about or concerned about just yet. But I always tell people that really the best time to start thinking about that is really now. It's really today, right now, and to really just give yourself the the best amount of time, because really the one thing that you'll never get back is time, right? That's really the thing that we all have on our side. And really, the earlier you start thinking about that, so the more prepared, the more like effortless it's going to be, the easier it's going to be, and more than likely, the earlier you'll be able to retire and not have to worry about that. You won't have to worry about how am I going to live in retirement, right? And especially with now what's going on. The times are changing, and you can no longer rely on your employers, with 401ks and employers, to really rely on them to be able to start saving for your retirement and rely on just on those, on those kind of on these kind of savings from just employers anymore. So that's something we call your financial independence number, right? So that's just something I wanted to share with you today to give you some little some thought there about it, and hopefully that is that makes you think a little bit, and makes you kind of, yeah, like realize that actually, there's no better time than the now and the today to sort of, get get thinking, get thinking a little bit more about it and start saving. Really, that's the ultimate thing. Because, like I said, time, something you don't get back, and it's the one thing that we can really utilize to grow, to grow your money and to make the most and utilize that. So, and if you haven't checked out my video about compound interest as well, that's something that definitely this goes together with thinking about a number of like how much you would need and then how you would actually go about saving and actually growing some of that money. So yeah, thanks for joining me today. I hope you've got a lot of value out of this video, and more videos will be coming soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and talk to you soon.